Welcome to the Midnight Files channel. Throughout the long and often shadowed corridors of human history, few objects have captured the imagination, inspired the devoted, or confounded the scholarly quite. Like the Ark of the Covenant, it is a relic that exists at the intersection of profound faith and tangible archaeology, a golden chest described in ancient texts as the literal footstool of the divine on earth. For over 3,000 years, the story of the Ark has traveled from the sun-scorched sands of the Sinai desert to the grandest temples of Jerusalem, only to vanish into the mists of time, leaving behind a trail of mystery that remains unsolved to this day. To understand the gravity of this lost treasure, we must first return to its origins, documented in the book of Exodus. According to the biblical narrative, shortly after the Israelites escaped their bondage in Egypt, they gathered at the base of Mount Sinai. It was here that Moses received the 10 Commandments etched by the finger of God onto 2 stone tablets. But these sacred laws required a vessel, a container that was not merely a box, but a throne for the presence of the Almighty. The construction of the ark was detailed with architectural precision. It was crafted from acacia wood, a resilient material native to the region, and measured approximately 2.5 cubits in length and 1.5 cubits in width and height. Translated into modern measurements, this would be roughly 45 inches long by 27 inches wide and high. Every inch of the wood was overlaid with pure gold, both inside and out, signifying a purity that transcended the physical world. A decorative gold molding ran around its top, and 4 gold rings were attached to its corners. Through these rings, poles made of acacia wood and overlaid with gold were inserted, ensuring that the ark could be carried without ever being touched by human hands. Most striking of all was the mercy seat, the heavy gold lid that rested atop the chest. Upon this lid sat 2 hammered gold cherubim, celestial beings whose wings were outspread, overshadowing the cover, facing one another. It was between these wings that the Shekinah, or the divine presence, was said to dwell. Inside the ark, according to tradition, were 3 objects: the stone tablets of the covenant, a golden jar of manna that sustained the Israelites in the desert, and the rod of Aaron that had miraculously budded. As the Israelites wandered for 40 years, the ark led the way, carried by the Levites, and draped in a veil of blue cloth and skins to shield it from common eyes. The biblical accounts describe the ark as more than a religious symbol. It was a source of terrifying power. When the Israelites reached the Jordan River, the waters are said to have parted the moment the priest's feet carrying the ark touched the riverbed. During the siege of Jericho, the ark was paraded around the city walls for 7 days before the fortifications crumbled to the ground. It was a weapon of war and a beacon of hope, but its journey was far from peaceful. In the 11th century BCE, the ark was captured by the Philistines during a period of Israelite defeat. However, the victory was short-lived for the captor. The ancient texts record that wherever the ark was taken in Philistine territory, plagues and calamities followed, eventually forcing them to return the relic to the Israelites. It eventually found its way to the city of David, where King David famously danced before it as it entered Jerusalem. But the ark's true home was yet to be built. David's son, King Solomon, constructed the first temple on Mount Moriah, a structure of unparalleled magnificence. At the heart of this temple lay the Holy of Holies, a small, dark, and perfectly square room where the ark was placed. Only the high priest could enter this room, and only once a year on the Day of Atonement. For centuries, the ark remained the spiritual heartbeat of the nation. Then, the historical record goes silent. The disappearance of the Ark of the Covenant is one of history's most debated cold. The last clear biblical reference to the ark being in the temple is during the reign of King Josiah in the 7th century BCE, when the Babylonians, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, besieged Jerusalem in 586 BCE. They razed the temple to the ground and carried off its treasures. Curiously, in the detailed lists of the loot taken to Babylon found in the Book of Kings and the Book of Ezra, the ark, the most valuable and sacred object of Alice, never mentioned. It was not among the returned items when the Jews came back from exile to build the Second Temple. The Second Temple's Holy of Holies was famously empty, containing only a foundation stone where the ark once sat. Where did it go? Fact-checking the numerous theories requires, separating historical possibility from legendary lore. One of the most persistent theories points to Ethiopia. The Ethiopian national epic, the Kebra, Nagast, claims that the Queen of Sheba visited King Solomon and bore him a son, Menelik. When Menelik grew up, he supposedly visited Jerusalem and took the ark back to Ethiopia, replacing it with a forgery. Today, the monks of the Church of Saint Mary of Zion in Aksum claim to guard the true ark. While this story is central to Ethiopian identity, no independent archaeologist has ever been allowed to see the object, and most scholars view the claim as a powerful religious tradition rather than a verified historical fact. Another theory, found in the second book of Maccabees, suggests that the prophet Jeremiah warned of the coming Babylonian invasion, took the ark and the tabernacle to Mount Nebatha, place where Moses viewed the promised land and hid them in a cave, sealing the entrance. He allegedly stated that the place would remain unknown until God gathered his people together again. This account has inspired countless explorers to search the rugged terrain of modern-day Jordan, but so far nothing has been found. Some archaeologists and researchers believe the ark never left Jerusalem at all. They suggest that, as the Babylonians breached the city walls, the priests hid the ark in a labyrinth of secret tunnels and chambers deep beneath the Temple Mount. Given the extreme political and religious sensitivity of the Temple Mount today, large-scale excavations in these areas are impossible, leaving this theory as a tantalizing possibility that may never be proven or disproven. There are also more distant theories, such as those involving the Knights Templar. Some believe that during the Crusades, the Templars discovered the ark beneath the ruins of Solomon's Temple and transported it to Europe, perhaps to the Chartres Cathedral in France, or even to the remote chapel of Rosslyn in Scotland. Others have suggested it was taken to southern Africa by the Lemba people, or hidden in the Hill of Tara in Ireland. However, these theories often lack primary historical evidence and lean heavily on speculation and medieval romance. In the realm of modern archaeology, the search continues using high-tech tools like ground-penetrating radar and satellite imaging. While we have discovered ancient temples at sites like Tel Shiloh and Beth Shemesh that correlate with the ark's biblical journey, the chest itself remains elusive. Perhaps its disappearance was intentional, a transition from a physical object requiring protection to a spiritual concept that lives within the faith of millions. Whether the ark was destroyed by the Babylonians for its gold, hidden away by frantic priests, or carried to afar off, its legacy is undeniable. It remains the ultimate symbol of the search for the divine and the enduring human desire to touch the sacred. The mystery of the Ark of the Covenant does not just reside in where it is, but in what. It represents a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the temporary and the eternal. As long as its location remains a secret, the Ark will continue to be the world's most fascinating lost treasure, a golden ghost, haunting the pages of history and the hearts of the curious. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.